Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. We're starting off this video in the most compromising position ever. I'm actually doing a teardown of my gaming PC. Do you guys remember it? Look, it comes with added dust. You know, planning this build since, when did I start planning it? November 2020? Yep, since November 2020, I finally have all the parts. And we're gonna take it into the studio and all the dongles, I'm just gonna let everything just lay down because I don't care. Everything's gonna get unplugged. We are going to take the PC out of here. Awkward. And we're going to pull this thing apart. I hope my butt's hanging out. Is it?
I can't see.
Okay, well, we're going reverse to the shot that we did the other day, but we are going to pull this thing apart because the time has come. I'm finally building my custom water-cooled gaming PC for myself. We are going to pull this whole thing apart. We're gonna water cool the GPU, the CPU is gonna get water cooled, this motherboard's gonna change, case is gonna change, basically everything's gonna change. So let's change it. Well, let's call this the first part of 2 because I still gotta build the whole thing. I'm gonna build the whole thing tomorrow and film that, but now we need the parts to prepare. You guys prepared? The reason why I'm shouting is because I'm excited. Let me be excited. Let's do it. All the parts that I'm not gonna be using for this build, I'm gonna chuck them right
in the bin.
I had to do that one more time, guys. So yeah, I'm just gonna put all of these other parts we're not using back into inventory, like the cooler and the motherboard. Basically everything else is going into my new gaming PC. I'm keeping the 3950X because I don't think I need a newer CPU. Maybe we'll go 5950X, see how I'm feeling. I don't really want to put our only 5950X that we've got that we use for builds and reviews and that kind of stuff in my personal rig. This 3950X, I got it for myself with money that you use to buy things with for my own gaming PC, so that's why I still have it. And this 3090 is the 3090 you see in like every 3090 build that we do, but it's actually out of my gaming PC. I'm not gonna be using this GPU anymore for anything else because I love how Claire tries to shake the gimbal like it's gonna pick up on those movements that she's doing. But the camera is just like staying still. This is how I dance when we're in the club.
In the club.
Yeah, in the club. You know what's next to the club where I put my dance moves?
In the bin.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep using it because I thought it was funny. You're such a dog.
Binny.
I was actually planning to do this pre-Cyberpunk launching, but with the delays and you know about everything going on in the world right now. I don't have to tell you about this anymore. It happens to everyone. YouTubers don't always just get everything all the time. Okay, wow, that was really difficult. I never had this problem with this GPU before. I swapped GPUs in this case so much that, yeah, so this motherboard and everything is gonna go back into our inventory so I can start using it for builds again, because it's been a while since I built with the Dark Hero and I kinda wanna start using it in some other things that we've got coming up. The board that is gonna go in the system that I'm talking about is the X570 Aqua, the ASRock board with the built-in monoblock. I wanted to use that board for the longest time for my own rig because it says Gear Seekers on it. Now the idea I have for this case as well is you may have seen the Parsec system that we built the other day. One of our Discord admins and I, we've been playing around with the system quite a bit over the last couple days, and we've been testing it. He lives in North Queensland, which is 2,500 kilometers away, and his latency's been really, really good. And we were doing stuff on there last night and editing some stuff. So it all seems to be working quite well. So there's an update on the Parsec stuff if you're interested. We have another video coming really soon. So I think in that video, I'll be transplanting the hardware into this case. And the only reason why I move it out of that other case is because this case is physically smaller and takes up a whole lot less room. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't decided if that's the path I'm gonna go down yet. The other thing I might do is not move the Parsec system into this case because that in itself is a giant, giant effort. But I do like this case. It's been really great over the time I've used it. You can see my uber lazy screw mechanism that I only put in a couple screws to hold this stuff in. Especially with uni fans, they're like a giant frame, so you don't really need to have every single frame in. People get so pedantic about that stuff as well, but I don't care. There goes the AIO. And we'll just unclip that so we can get these and chuck these
in the bin.
I absolutely beat this system within an inch of its life every time I gamed on it. Let's hope that the thermal paste isn't too sticky. Now this cooler always comes out so weird. Like some of the standoffs on the board will either stay on the backplate or they'll come off. Like it's just so unpredictable. I think this backplate's gonna come off on its own though. In the event of that happening, yeah, just be careful with it. Give it a bit of a wiggle. It should come out quite easily. This one came out quite nicely, actually, quite elegantly. And now we just have a super, super dirty IHS. Man, sometimes when I route these cables, it sounds really good at the time, but when I have to pull them out, just becomes a nightmare. Good job, dude. You just got thermal paste all over the RAM you wanted to use. So CPU didn't come out. It's a bit goopy. Might as well give this all a bit of a cleanup with my normal tools, makeup pads and IPA, couple sprays. Should be good to go. Clean up this absolute filth. That is very goopy. They would call that the Goop Lord anywhere else in the world. I just made that up. Look at me go, Claire. I'm cleaning. I'm actually doing something around the house, Claire. Give it a couple pumps for some good luck and then give her some rub. Give her some rub. Give her some rub. And clean up all the goopy goodness off the top of the CPU. And we should be good to go. And we can move on with our lives from cleaning. I mean, this is all I ever do on this channel, is clean. As you can see, I'm using a lot of Unifans lately. The only reason why I like these is because single connector, you can daisy chain the fans up together, and it's just a big time saver when I'm building stuff and pulling stuff apart a lot. And the performance of them is actually quite good, and they're not loud, which I like too. So yeah, I definitely recommend Unifans. In total, I had 9 Unifans in this system. The front rad was push-pull, but yeah, you're gonna see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tease it in this video too, so maybe I'll just show you all the parts that we're gonna go with. Maybe, yeah, that's what we're gonna do in this video. We'll show you. I didn't really plan this video out at all. I was just like, you know what? I gotta pull this apart, so I might as well film it and hang out with you guys while I get rid of this PC in its current state because it's on to greener pastures. So goodbye, old friend. You were very good, and you don't actually belong
in the bin.
You were very dear to my heart. We shared lots of fun times together, old friend. It's not gonna be very sad because you're gonna be heaps more water cooled. Let's get this board out, and then I'm gonna pull off, yep. I'm just gonna pull off. Oh, what is wrong with me? I have to ask myself that question way too often. What is wrong with me? Look how dirty it is. This thing sat under my desk. I mean, it was off the floor for all of its life, but still managed to get dusty because I didn't put the TG panel on here. When I was playing games, the system, because the 3950X would get so hot, I would bump my leg on the glass and it would burn my leg. And I mean, 3950X and a 3090 together create hottest box. Especially when you're gaming for 5 hours at a time, which I don't do. But when I did have time over Christmas and whenever I had this running, yeah, it was a bit warm. I'm not gonna lie, you know. Warm is good sometimes, but I think that's all the screws. Out comes old friend, the Dark Hero, back to be used again on the channel for other builds. The teardown's done. But now I'm going to show you the parts we're actually using for this thing. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is just for dramatic effect. There's no actual reason for me to be doing this. But we're going with the Corsair 5000D Black. We've only used it once. We used it for our 11900K launch build. So we're gonna dump this over here because tomorrow it's going down. 5000D airflow. Well, let's take a look at the other parts. Motherboard, X570 Aqua. This one's special though, a Gear Seekers one, and it says Gear Seekers on it. This monoblock is probably not even attached. I actually tore this apart twice, it was twice, right? There goes a screw. I tore this apart twice. I cleaned out the block because I've used it a couple of times now. It's like perfectly clean and ready to go. I cleaned this out in February because that's when I thought I was going to be building it, but now it's the end of April. So yeah, maybe put that screw back. Precarious. Why aren't you going back in the box? It's not like you'll ever have to go back in there again after tomorrow. What held up this build for so long? Custom cable mod cables. The theme of this PC that's coming up in the next video, purple, black, and silver, right? They've got purple cable combs. They're extra long because I don't know how long it's all gonna be yet. I hadn't decided, so when I ordered them, I'm like, look how long that is. That's the EPS power connector, super long. That means we can manage it nicely. This one is about 10 centimeters longer than usual. That's what held it up. But I think we've already showed most of this anyway. 3090, cool, whatever, 3090, you can't buy them, I get it, right? This is what's happening with the 3090. Water-cooled backplate, custom water cooling. And all of the fans, bulk uni fans. That's what we're gonna be using. These are the ones out of the other build, and that's it, nothing fancy. Still debating 3950X or 5950X, but I think it's gonna be 3950X. These are the drives out of the gaming computer with all of my games on it already, so I'm not gonna go through all of that malarkey again, so. There's that, and the RAM is 32 gigs of Triton Z Neo at however fast RAM is supposed to be, I'm not sure. But that's basically it. Goodbye.